So if you're watching this episode, you're going to want to watch the end or listen, because we're going to go through how to answer the phone if you're an optical practice, how to make the most out of every single phone call. And my name's Gary Kasulu. I love optics, I love marketing, and you bring that mix together. So what happens? Someone's new to the area, someone Googles your number, and they ring your practice. It needs to be ranked, it needs to be picked up within 3 rings. Now, why do I say that? On the 4th, they're thinking of putting it down, or that they feel bad that you're busy. On the 5th, they're definitely feeling that they could be bothering you, or you're not going to pick up. Very rarely does a phone ring 6 times. So there's a rule of thumb, you want to pick up on the 3rd call. Now, when you pick up, there's a whole science called the Alexander technique. When you're sitting down, your voice doesn't project as well as standing up. Now, we can't always stand up, but at least as a minimum to smile, because you can hear that smile at the other end. So you picked up the phone within 3 rings, you're smiling, and then you answer the phone, so they've picked up the right place. So it's always worth saying, Vision Care Optometrist, Gary speaking, how can I help? So you're saying where they've called, your name, and asking them how they can help. Now, you can miss out the how can I help. That's always been my thing. Now, some people like to say their name for accountability. That's up to you. So you picked up the phone, and the first thing maybe the patient might say is, hi, I'm just calling to find out how much your eye exam is. Now, there's a science called neuro-linguistic programming, and it says we must mirror our patients. So if they say eye exam, say, oh, well, our eye exams are 40 minutes long. They're done by the same optometrist, and in fact, we have the most advanced technology. Now, you wouldn't say, if they say eye exam, you say an eye test. You have to mirror what they're saying. So the wrong thing to do here is, if they phone up and ask how much an eye exam is or a sight test, you telling them the price, they put the phone down, that's the end of it. What happens quite often is you will tell them the benefits of calling you. So i.e. you might have a special kit, more OCT, possibly. You might have your optometrist been there for years. You might be established a long time. You might be able to boast of a 40-45 hour long sight test, and they need to know that. And ask them, do they know where you are? Give them information about parking. And once you've done that, they're pretty convinced, and they might put the phone down, but you can guarantee they'll call you back in 20-30 minutes after they've called around everywhere, finding the cheapest eye test, and then they'll call you back. And I've had 30 years of science of this. My colleague Carmel and I, we'd pick up the phone, people would ask a query, we'd either book them there and then, or they would phone back. And this is the saddest thing that happens in practice. People pick up the phone too late, they miss a lot of appointments. And if you've got a voice over IP, I encourage you to look at when you miss your appointments. Usually when you're short-staffed around lunchtime, if you're doing an average dispensing value of, say, £300-400, it makes a lot of sense to pay somebody £1 or £2 to answer that phone for you, an outsourced service. You DM me, I can recommend a few. I'm not on commission or anything, but it's the best money you're ever going to spend, because they're going to phone somewhere else and just think you're too busy. So that's Gary Kasulu running through how you answer the phone. You ask them, you thank them before you put the phone down, of course. And there might be other queries. And God forbid someone phones up for an eye exam and they're having floaters or flashes of light, or they've lost their vision suddenly. So you do need to be wary of that. You need to that's an emergency eye test needed there. Don't book it in for 2 weeks time, for God's sakes. Women that are breastfeeding, or they're in their 3rd trimester, 2nd trimester, they're still breastfeeding, their vision is very, it fluctuates. So this is, if they happen to mention they're breastfeeding, then that is worth a question with the optometrist. If you're diabetic, it's worth a question with the optometrist. So I hope this has been useful. I've really enjoyed it. I've enjoyed talking about picking up the phone because I love it. I love picking it up after 3. Some people just let it ring. It costs you hundreds of thousands of pounds a year by letting it ring. I've enjoyed this. I hope you've enjoyed it. I look forward to your comments down below, and I'll answer each and every one, even if there's hundreds, I promise. So Gary Kasulu, Dispenser Optician, that's a pod. That's a wrap.